Now, one of your other popular posts is the letter you wrote to your parents.
A letter of apology.
Yeah.
And I still stand on. I need to add to that list.
When I read it, I was like, I always think those things. I always think those things, but I never say them. And what made you want to write that?
Was it the letter of apology to my parents about everything that I did?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just because when you have children, you say everything you promised you'd never say. I'm going to count to 3. Or if you don't pick that up, I'm going to throw it in the dustbin. You know, all of those threats that your parents made you do them. And you sound like your parents. And as the words are coming out of your mouth, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm my mother, I'm my father. So I wrote a letter of apology to my parents, like stuff that they would complain about that we didn't care about, like slamming doors.
Yeah.
Or running down the
what's
passage.
the big deal?
Or not finishing your food. Like stuff that didn't matter to us. And now when my children slam doors, I promise you, it drives me crazy. And when they don't listen, and when the TV's too loud. And for us, we wanted to watch cartoons loud, but like our parents, we must have driven them insane. And we were 3. And, you know, I've just got the 2. But, you know, everything, like my dad used to say, like, don't leave the fridge door open for so long. And just those little things, and switch lights off when you leave a room. And those little, like, normal things to do.
Did you give the letter to your parents?
They read my blog.
Okay.
My dad, not so much. He's not that good at the internet in general. But my mom read it, and I actually printed it out, and I think I ended up faxing it to my dad.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's the best thing.
Because he's in KZN. And I think it was about 2 years ago, but I need to add to that list because I've found so many more things. But no, they were very touched. They were very touched. I think my mom, you know, did a few tears and stuff. And it's nice to know that, you know, because your children are always complaining about your parenting when you're young. And then as you grow up, they're like, oh, thank you so much for, like, not making me a savage as a child. So,
making sure I survive.
Yeah, feeding me, general stuff. And also, like, my parents had their own companies. They were very entrepreneurial. And we would always complain about the time. And we'd always say, you know, you're always home late, the other kids get picked up first. I'm always late for school, I always miss the morning ring, or, you know, whatever it was. And with our kids, we've had to make decisions of, you know, Graham's working late tonight, I'll work late tomorrow, we both have to work late, and just have to stick them in front of a cartoon for an hour because we've got a crazy deadline. And I realize now the position my parents were in, and for us, all we wanted was, you know, mommy come and see my colouring in picture, but mommy has to decide between seeing that colouring picture or potentially losing a client or project. So you have to look at the long-term thing. So I think we put so much guilt on our parents for working the way that they had to work. And, you know, we saw it later with university and jobs and the cars we were able to get and all the opportunities that they opened up for us. But in the moment, like, I feel so guilty now. Like, knowing, you know, and I remember my mom, and she'd come home from work and she'd go straight to the kitchen and start cooking dinner, and we would nag, like, oh, I don't have this, or why is my one sock, like, not here with my other stuff for netball tomorrow, and complain about the silliest things. And now, like, I just feel like, oh, Mom, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for being so hard on you. So yeah, a lot of things really, really come into perspective when you have children.